If you thought PopSocket phone grips were too bulky, well, get a load of this. It's flat. I have been taking the Low-Pro for a test drive, but first I sat down with PopSocket founder David Barnett to get the story behind its design. This is the Low-Pro. I need to hear all about how this came to be.
How it came to be is a long story. I was a philosophy professor at University of Colorado, and I was frustrated with my headset tangling every time I took it out of my pocket. So I went to the nearest Joann Fabric and glued a couple of clothing buttons to the back side of my phone. Voila, I solved my problem, but I had a new problem. My friends and family all made fun of me for this ridiculous solution. To prove my friends and family wrong, I thought I would design a case with two buttons that it would expand and then collapse flush. And so I taught myself 3D CAD. This is my very first prototype. It's about the same thickness as our new grip, the Low-Pro, but it doesn't work at all. It took 60 more rounds of prototypes, hundreds of designs.
PopSockets all began as a sticky thing you put on the case, but the iPhone MagSafe made it easier to swap out designs and accessories magnetically. Now, I like to have fun swapping out statement pieces, but this is for another kind of customer.
Each time I would meet a male consumer, almost every time, the men would say to me, "Oh, that's super cool, I love that, but I can't use it." And I'd say, "Why not?" And they'd say, "It would get caught in my pocket." And I think to myself, it's never gotten caught in my pocket, ever. And so ultimately I wanted a solution that would meet this challenge of not being perceived as thick and bulky. We were first focused on the original accordion design, and then we pivoted to this completely different mechanism. We call it the PopStar expansion layer. So it's a one-piece tapered mechanism that conforms to the fingers and soft, comfortable, but highly durable. And this grip is fidgetable. So you can slide it open, snap it shut.
All right, that was fun getting to talk to the team, but I also have a few impressions after fidgeting with it a bit. It feels interesting. It's also really thin. I mean, I always put my phone in my back pocket, so I do like that it just kind of slips in there. And it is, though, springy, and I keep wanting to play with its springy bounciness and all these holes I find myself as I'm walking around just wanting to stick my finger in it very awkwardly. I mean, that makes for a really good fidget. It looks really weird, but you know what? It's holding together and it's keeping its shape. And I've been tugging on it. It looks thin because the way it comes together with its little design, but it's been fine so far no matter how I try to tug at it. The company says it can handle about 30 pounds of pressure. You can really mess with it and it's still pretty strong. And they have gone through a lot of testing to see that it's durable. A big question is if it can handle charging. And yes, the more you put between the MagSafe charger and your phone, like a case and another pop socket, well, it's gonna slow down that connection. So I really wouldn't keep this on if you want fast charging. Fun fact I learned, these were almost called iButtons before he landed on the name PopSockets. But you know, the whole PopSocket phenomenon got out there so early in the iPhone game that I feel like everyone just calls any grip a PopSocket. So yes, there are other grips out there that are flat. And I've used this one by a company called Snap. And when I compare the two, I do think PopSocket made a good option here because of the way it's designed. Not only can you pop it open from any angle by just pressing your finger down, it kind of pops open. With the Snap kind, you have to sort of do it right at the bottom and the top or kind of twist it around a bit. So technically it takes a little more fudging to get it open and closed, but I also like how PopSocket has this option of a really strong ring as part of the stand. Now PopSockets normally range from $30 to $45 depending on the design. And these Low-Pros are $40. It's the same as this big chunky Mandalorian one that I've been sporting for a few days now. You're gonna first see the Low-Pro PopSockets at Apple stores. It'll come in 4 colors, and after a month or so, you'll see it at other retailers, including PopSockets.com. So yeah, this might be something you see more of in the summer. What is interesting to me is how when you pop it on, and I'm using my little Grogu case here for display purposes, it is actually lower than the camera bump of the iPhone. It kind of tells you how big that camera bump is getting now, isn't it? You will be able to stick this to other metal surfaces, but just keep in mind that the camera bump might get in the way. Regardless, we are entering a world where there are more MagSafe accessory choices than ever, and I like seeing companies push where they can go next or show us where they can squish next. Let me know in the comments if you're into this thinner design, if you've been afraid to pop socket before because they're too big for your pants, perhaps, or, you know, maybe you just want to try a different kind of stand. Thanks to David Barnett and the PopSocket team for showing us how they're popping next. Yes, I'm still making bad jokes, and you're still watching. Thank you for that. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll see you next time.